really don't think there's much in life that's more like powerful and symbolic than shooting a gun. You know, it's really something quite empowering about it. It's like having a second, a third arm, and it's very, very. I mean, it's peaceful. It lets you think, you know, about how different things, about death and fucking killing people, you know.
Jules.
Well, I mean, the Sex Magic Training Centre, as I understood it, wasn't a sort of physical location. You know, I mean, yes, they would meet in a room. You know, I actually remember here. I mean, I was just going to say about the post office here. This is where he did a lot of his mail art work. I mean, I would meet him in here quite regularly, as we were both kind of participating in various mail art projects. So I'd be coming down here, and we used the post office quite a lot, and we used to sometimes make little collage postcards together on the little serving area there. And we used to get all these mail from all over Europe. I mean, I think I saw him one time here picking up something from Cavallini, for example, and then there was one day he had to sign for something that was coming from, I think, well, probably Luther Blissett. I think probably Luther Blissett. But in any case, and I think upstairs from that, because he got to know the people in the post office so well, Postman is a very significant figure in his life. If you want to know about Julius's time in Pétomanes, I suggest that you try and track down the postman.
Evola himself wasn't. I mean, he never really cared for the shoot 'em up. He was more of a RPG man. He liked to think. He liked to get inside the characters and really feel it. You know, really fucking feel it.
But I think because he got to know the postman so well, sometimes they would meet upstairs, up there, on the second floor, and this would be the Sex Magic Centre, so to speak. But some people confused it for the actual room. But as Julius was always kind of keen to point out, the Sex Magic Centre was more of a kind of psychic location.
Responses, you know, they told us there's 6 women for every man, so we have to kind of work our way through. You can't, you know, you've had your 6. Maybe you can have more if you want, but you need a minimum of 6 partners, really, before you can graduate to the next level of the sex magic practice. It's called Dadaist.
As well as that, he quite liked the old platform games. Mario, he said, was a particular favourite of his.
Sex magic would obviously come up as a forefront, and therefore a lot of people say, oh, did you know that so-and-so and that Julius is involved in this, and do you know anybody else who's doing it, etc., etc.?
I don't really know, as I haven't got any documents, and I didn't really get enough details really to know about exactly what they got up to, but I know that Alex has got a lot of burns, and they're from Julius.
Every Friday it was called the Sex Magic Practices, or SMP, you know, it was kind of abbreviated things to...
Julius first came to the Conservative Club because he thought it would be a good place to maybe set up a meeting place for a Sex Magic Centre, and it was in the early days of that. And instead of coming straight out with it, the sex magic thing, he would use another kind of front, if you like. So the Conservative Club, what he decided to do is he decided to set up a scan night.
The drink, the drugs, the virgins, you know, the Hammer horror movies. That's all in situ, really. And all you need to do is just come along, you know, bring the kids.
He was kind of attracting a lot of local skinheads to come in, and in one room that was going on, but at the same time in the other room he was kind of hosting a different type of evening behind that through a false wall, which involved quite a few local Freemasons and quite a few politicians. I mean, there was all sorts of scandals and speculation.
Well, you know, it's Italy and the accent. That was what always compelled me about Julius.
Yeah.
Was his accent.
Yeah.
Just I only had brief contact with him.
I like the fetish whole side of it. Like
yeah, he's such an amazing
that
character.
that kind of bullying into a subject and really pulling it apart, and then putting it back together in that really kind of abstract sexual way. It's just
absolutely just that engagement with that like sexual, like the whole concept of neo-fetishism.
He said he could never think quite as clearly as when he was playing Tetris. There's something really kind of meditative, I suppose, is the word, about playing Tetris.
He went to the Conservative Club because he thought that that he might be able to. He thought they would share his interest in neo-fascism, you know, but actually it was neo-fetishism that they thought he was interested in, but that kind of came together quite nicely, because even though he thought he could meet people here and talk, you know, openly about his ideas around neo-fascism, they thought he was there to talk about neo-fetishism. But once they got over that initial misunderstanding, you know, he was as interested in neo-fetishism as they were interested in neo-fascism. So I think from that point on, that's why he really became quite a significant person in that community.
What you call fascism, I call clear thinking.
The extremity of his political views did have a certain amount of, I don't know, what would you like to say, influence from that towards other people here in the Totnes area.
Did you ever get tied up by him?
yeah,
Yeah, did you?
yeah. Me and him were like that.
Like, oh, absolutely. Or like, yeah, just, what's that thing that he used to do? The whole rubbing that he was just like, me and you.
Yeah.
He influenced me in quite a lot of ways in my own work as a social worker.
He sort of, that kind of way that he kind of like meddled with you psychologically. I mean, that part of it, I mean, I think he was a nice guy, but I think he just had all those kind of weird psychological issues.
Fascist piss is, I suppose, as good as any other piss in putting you out if you're on fire. So I'd be happy for him to piss on me.
He had a theory about amplification and chiseling, I think was his theories, where so he was interested in when kind of sexual energy he had a theory about sexual energy concentrations of sexual energy somehow originating in particular geographical sites.
Basically, you could say that he was in fact a pig paedophile.
He was just always just this fake guy.
Yeah.